Hey everybody, and welcome to our final segment for today here at CES. I'm Devindra Hardawar, and I'm here with Matt McGowan from Dell, Director of the PC Gaming Group. Hey Matt, how's it going?
Very good, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a couple of things, but the thing I really want to talk about is the Alienware Area-51m, this new upgradable machine that you guys debuted this week. And I think you have a video to show for that.
They said you can't game hard on a laptop. They said you can't upgrade a laptop. And they said you can't get enough power from a laptop. So we built a laptop that does all of that and more. The revolutionary new Alienware Area-51m is now the world's most powerful and upgradable gaming laptop. Featuring an upgradable and overclockable desktop Intel Core processor and graphics by NVIDIA. Up to 64 gigabytes of DDR4 memory. Advanced Alienware Cryotech cooling. Tobii eye tracking. And narrow bezel display. Welcome to a new era.
Oh wow. So the Area-51m is unlike any laptop I've ever seen before. It's running on a desktop chipset. It has a replaceable desktop CPU. You can replace the GPU, you can replace the memory and storage. This is pretty much just a desktop in laptop form. Can you tell us, like, how did the idea for this come about?
Yeah, so in general, this is the most powerful, most upgradable laptop in the market today. So if you look at the desktop market, really the reason people are buying desktops is that performance and upgradability. That market has pretty much maintained a healthy status. So we've always wanted to do a notebook that has upgradable and the performance characteristics of a desktop, but in a mobile format. Mm-hmm. So one of the big challenges we had was actually getting it to where we could deliver on the promise of desktop-like performance, but also have the mobility and the lightweight to where you can throw it in your bag, take it to a LAN party, use it as a regular PC. Mm-hmm. So that was a huge challenge. The other big challenge we had was with the thermal solution. So obviously with a desktop CPU, with upgradable GPU up to a full-blown non-max Q RTX 2080, we have to exhaust that heat out. So that was a huge challenge. We actually have completely redesigned the thermal solution. We looked at open air venting. We can push over 25 CFM of airflow, which is something that's on par with what you would see with a desktop, for example.
That's pretty crazy. I know Alienware years ago also had like upgradable components in their systems, but I feel like it was a little different and maybe it's a little tougher then. Can you tell us, like, what's improved now that's allowed this computer for you guys to make something like this?
Yeah, so you're seeing other people in the market that are doing desktop CPUs in a mobile platform.
Right.
That's a socketed chip. You can replace that relatively easily. The challenge is in a mobile platform, you have to solder down the GPU typically. What we've done that's unique is we've created our own form factor, actually a daughter cord that we're going to upgrade as new GPUs come out. And so the user can take that and upgrade their Area-51m at a later date. So not only do we have CPU upgradability, we also have GPU upgradability.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can you, are you guys confirmed, because I feel like I've talked about this computer with some people, do we know for sure that graphics upgrades will be coming to this in a year or two?
Absolutely. As our partner on this, NVIDIA, comes out with different graphics, we're absolutely going to offer them in that form factor.
Gotcha. Very cool. And also, this machine doesn't look like any Alienware I've ever seen before. It's a lot more subtle in a way, like compared to the M15 right here. This one seems sharper, more aggressive, very gamer-like. The Area-51m almost seems very futuristic.
Yeah.
What was the design process for you guys just designing this machine?
Yeah, so if you look back at our 22-year history, we've really only updated the design language 4 times. Right. So this was a huge undertaking for us. We spent 2.5 years. We started 2.5 years ago on refreshing the design language. We wanted to make sure that we set the trend for the next 5 years and not just for the next 1 to 2 years.
Gotcha.
So we actually started out with 6 design concepts, and we took a lot of cues from really the history and the heritage of Alienware of delivering innovation and technology and kind of that futuristic theme. So we did a lot of research around sci-fi culture, things like that. When we had those 6 concepts, we very quickly whittled that down to 2. And then we had 2 concepts, and one was really kind of a logical evolution of Alienware, and then one made us a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Understanding that we were looking to be a trendsetter, we went with the one that was more uncomfortable, the one that made us feel like we were really pushing the boundaries of gaming PCs. And so we landed here, and so you called it out. It's not the angular with red accents like the market has, a lot of PCs today.
Yeah.
It's a lot more softer edges. Things flow a lot better. What's interesting about this product, it's actually smaller than our Alienware 17 that we sold last year.
Right.
Volumetrically, it's smaller.
Wow.
And it's lighter weight by about 1 pound. So if you think about, we've increased the performance by 50% at least.
Yeah.
And then we also have the upgradability aspect. And in theory, we have a smaller chassis, slightly thicker, but smaller volumetrically. That was a huge engineering feat. From a design element, we have we'll have 2 color motifs. One's going to be light motif, and then one will be a dark motif. So the darker one is a dark gray, still with the black on the rear. We do have our Alienware lighting, so the Alienware heads light up, and what we've done is we have an accent lighting on the rear, which really accentuates the thermal performance of this product. If you remember, this has desktop CPU and full-blown 2080 non-MQ, so we're over 300 watts of power in this.
So
product.
I have to ask, what's the battery life? I feel like that may be the one
You're
downside.
not going to want to buy this one for battery life.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You'll want to buy our thin and light product with the 90 watt-hour battery, give you 15 hours of battery life. This one is a performance powerhouse. Give you a couple hours of battery life. I don't want to oversell it, but it's really meant to be plugged in desktop replacement, but you can take it with you.
Can we see the front as well? Because I think the keyboard design and the way the LED keyboard looks
it's
really attractive,
so the keyboard design is, we've completely redesigned the keyboard. We have a very rigid substructure in here, so you get a very good typing experience. On our thin and light, we have 1.4 millimeters of travel. This is a 2.2 millimeter travel keyboard.
Wow, okay.
And this is also RGB per key. So each individual key can be programmed to have a different color.
Yeah.
And that's all controlled through our Alienware Command Center. And then we have anti-ghosting technology and in-key rollover as well, which really speaks to the gaming community.
Wow. So it seems like now we're seeing the Alienware family kind of stratifying a little. So this is the super powerful one for pure performance, maybe not battery life, but then you have the thinner ones now. I feel like I've waited a long time to see Alienware approach within design. What is, you guys announced the M17 this year too, like the thinner 17-inch version. How do those computers, how do they compare to this Area-51?
So where the Area-51 has desktop components, so it's literally components that we also use in our desktops.
Yeah.
They're socketed. Because we're thin and light on the M17, M15, we have to solder everything down. So it's not upgradable, so to speak.
Right.
But we have done a tremendous job of reducing the thickness and the weight. So this is actually 45% smaller than a previous generation and 40% lighter on the 17-inch.
Wow.
So a lot of improvements there.
I remember you guys had the Alienware 13 a couple years ago, and this is the 50-inch version. It's even smaller than that one was, right?
It's very, very close.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
And definitely lighter, I seem to remember.
Yeah, this is sub 5 pounds. So for a gaming notebook to be 2080 MQ capable, Core i9 overclockable K SKUs, to be sub 5 pounds, we're really proud of this product.
That's cool. And when can we expect the design elements from the M51, or when can we expect that in other machines?
Yeah, so for all new product launches, when we refresh the chassis, we're going to do it in the new industrial design. So this is called our Legend ID. The one, the 15-inch that's sitting next to it, the thin and light, is called Epic ID. So everything moving forward will be in Legend ID when we refresh those chassis.
Very cool. And I think one of the really interesting things about all of NVIDIA's new graphics is real-time ray tracing. And this is the idea that the lighting models are going to be more realistic.
Yeah.
You're going to get more realistic reflections and softer shadows and things like that. How important do you think that is to like the future of gaming?
I think it's very important. You know, the RTX transition, we've been first to market on it, or time to market with RTX on all of our products.
Right.
So we're fully embracing RTX. You know, that said, with any new platform transition, you're going to have a series of game developers that adopt over time. So, you know, initially there's not going to be a lot of games that are out there. Battlefield 5 is a notable title that has that utilizes the ray tracing technology. But I think over the course of the year and 2 years, and as you want to future-proof your purchase with the PC, you're going to see ray tracing be more, you know, more adopted.
Gotcha. Matt McGowan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.